tell us a little bit about how you ended up here? We understand you had great success in Hungary with a team whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce. When your contract was up, did you want to come back to North America? How did it end up you coming here?
Yeah, I wanted to be closer to home. Originally being from Seattle, I wanted to have the opportunity to be closer to my family and friends. You know, it's really important to me, and obviously this afforded me that opportunity. And yeah, that was one of the big factors that contributed to my decision.
You've been here a little while. John said today that he hopes that you'll get to see some action on the weekend. How have you found your experience so far with the club?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I think I really appreciate all the people who have helped me settle in so far. You know, there's so much staff here to help support me in my transition coming from Europe back to a different league in a different country. So that's been awesome. The staff have been great. They've been pushing me hard, and I feel good. So it's been a good couple days.
Well, what was your experience like in Hungary? You had a lot of success with that team.
Yeah, it was a great 3.5 years. I was really fortunate to play for a club that had a really high standard. We competed in Europe every single season, which was, you know, my goal when I moved over to Europe. And unfortunately, I was able to do so in all 5 seasons that I played there. And yeah, you know, we won the league every single year in Hungary and won the cup as well. So it was, you know, successful, and you know, that was my goal when I set out, was to win trophies, and I was able to do that. So I'm really happy with my time there.
Hey Henry, John Molinaro. Nice to welcome to Toronto. Did you know anyone at TFC? Did you consult with anyone before?
To be honest, no, I didn't know any of the guys personally, but they've been great. Really friendly group, a lot of camaraderie within the group, which is great. And it's just been an easy transition, I would say, so far.
When speaking to John earlier today, he said, you know, a lot of, obviously paid you a lot of compliments, but mostly about how you're versatile, you can play a number of positions. Do you have a preferred position? I mean, what do you think is your strongest?
Yeah, I would say my strongest position would be the one that I've played the most games in, which is as a right back, typically in a back four. But in this last season, I played as a central defender in a back three, and also in a back four. I've played as a wing back in a back five, so I feel comfortable in any of those positions.
How did the change come about at the Hungarian club this past year to playing different positions? Was it just lack of sort of other options in those spots?
It was a coaching decision. We had a coaching change in August of last year, and I think he just saw me fitting well into his system and his style of play in that position. And I transitioned pretty quickly in the first few games, and then just sort of stuck.
What drew you to Toronto? It's not the closest place to Seattle, as you know.
Yeah. I think it's just an interesting market, and you know, obviously coming from Seattle, Toronto, and Seattle had a bit of history, and in my times coming here in the past, I, you know, was attracted to the city, attracted to the club and the support that the team gets. I think it's just a special place to play, and I think it stood out compared to some of the other options that I had in the league. And yeah, I was just excited more so than anything about this opportunity compared to some other ones.
And forgive my ignorance, so when was the last time you played a game?
Like just in general?
Well, just with the Hungarian.
Yeah, end of May, yeah.
During your time in Seattle, do you remember playing here? Did you get a chance to play at BMO Field?
I never got a chance to play at BMO Field. I was there for the MLS Cup in 2017, but didn't play. And then again in 2019. Yeah, but not for the MLS Cup in 2019.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go back to Fennecureros for a second. You got to play some pretty high-profile opponents in the Champions League, Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you take away from those experiences?
I think from those games, you know, especially being a club from Hungary, we were often seen as the underdog, and playing against, you know, clubs such as the ones you mentioned, learning how to compete in those games against players who, you know, you might have watched before, or, you know, who are playing on the biggest stages week in and week out, and figuring out how to find results against those kinds of teams and playing in those kinds of atmospheres. It's been a really great experience to be able to learn how to navigate those situations.
The Pacific Northwest seems to be a bit of a soccer hotbed. Maybe just what was it like growing up playing soccer? I understand your brother.
Yeah, no, I think Pacific Northwest has a great soccer community, produces a lot of really good players, a lot of guys going pro and having long careers coming from there. So I think I was lucky to have a good community around me, good coaches, experienced coaches who pushed me and helped support me and recognize what my goals were. I think that was super important as a young kid, and yeah, it was a special place to grow up and play. I think we had a lot of good teams, good players, and had the right recipe to help me reach where I am today.
Do you have family here, Henry, with you, or are you on your own?
My girlfriend will be here in a couple weeks. Yeah.
And did you pick up any Hungarian while you were playing?
No, I think having a coaching staff that was always foreign and primarily foreign players, English was the main language over there, at least in that dressing room.
What was life like for you over there? That was a big team, as you said, you had a lot of success. Did you get recognized in the streets, things like that?
Yeah, actually, I think that was the first time in my career that I sort of experienced a little bit of celebrity, I guess, just because that club in Budapest is what everyone pays attention to, and soccer is the biggest sport in Hungary, so definitely walking on the streets, you get people saying hi and wanting pictures and autographs and stuff. So it was an interesting experience because I hadn't, had that before, but you learn to manage it.
I always look back and see if there are any connections. A couple of your former teammates have spent time here in Toronto: Stefan Fry, Eric Zavaleta, and Jordan McCrary. Did you happen to chat with any of them before making this decision?
I didn't chat with any of them, but I think I had chatted with a couple other guys who had played here, who had known guys who had played here, and everybody had great things to say about the club and about the city, about their time here in general. I never heard anything bad from anybody in the conversations that I did have leading up to making this decision. So I think that definitely also helped sort of push me in this direction.
You went to Europe after your time in MLS. Is that box ticked now? Are you happy to be back in North America? Or?
Yeah. Like I said, I think so much of a professional career is a balance in terms of what you want to achieve on the pitch, but also, your values off the pitch. And like I said, it was important to me to be closer to my family and my friends and being closer to home. I think I definitely ticked a lot of boxes while I was over there. I think some guys go over there and, don't reach those levels. And I was happy to do so, and I felt like I definitely achieved a lot of what I set out to do. Of course, there's always more you could have done or felt like you could have done, but I was ready at that point to move back in this direction.
And they say Budapest is meant to be a beautiful place. Did you enjoy living there?
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful cities I've seen, definitely. Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of history, really beautiful place, so I enjoyed it.